Welcome back to another video. It's been a while. I'm going to introduce a new series where we rank the drivers like we usually did, but now the top 10 gets points, and we're going to have a championship standings. So to make it more fun to see who's the best, and at the end of the year and the middle part of the year, we're going to see what's better, the average or the points for how good the drivers are doing. So I think it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, so it's going to be the same as the normal F1 scoring system. The top 10 gets points from 10 to first, 1 to 25. No fastest laps because I don't know how I'm going to do that. We're also going to do the constructor standings to see which team has the best driver lineup and who should be in the constructors lead if the cars were equal. As much as said, let's get into it. This is the driver standings at the moment. Verstappen is still in the lead with a very big lead over Piastri in second. Leclerc fourth, Leclerc third, Albon fourth, and Russell fifth. That's top five. You can see the rest there. The best rookie being Hadjar in sixth, in front of Norris, the title contender, mind you. Alonso eighth after not doing so good so far. Antonelli only 10th, with Gasly 9th, and the rest are there. Hamilton, of course, the biggest star there, only in 14th, and yeah. Sainz not having a good season so far behind Stroll. And yeah, the two Red Bull drivers not doing that good. Colapinto and Bortoleto, the bottom two, and Doohan is not there because he has not scored a point yet. Okay. So let's get to the Canadian GP and start with our three losers and then move to our top 10 and the two drivers that just missed the top 10. Let's go to the last place, and the loser for my rankings is going to be Lando Norris. A very, very disappointing race from him. He is fumbling the bag so much with this championship. It's on a level that I've not seen before whilst I've watched F1. Qualifying was very bad, 7th, and then crashed into his teammate. It's not very good. So he's last place in my rankings today. 19th is Stroll, coming back from injury. I'm not sure what he did. I'm very suspicious if you ask me. And yeah, qualifying was not good. While his teammate was like 5th, he was 18th. And in the race, he got a big penalty and he was nowhere near Alonso's pace. Now, last driver that we can talk about, the losers, is going to be Liam Lawson. He didn't have a good qualifying as well, but I'm not sure what I can take away from the race because he did have some engine problems, I think. They did retire the car, but he wasn't very good, nor was his teammate, so it was very hard to think or to see where he was. So let's talk about the two people that just missed out on the top 10 and scoring points, which are Leclerc and Tsunoda. They have the same score in my opinion. Leclerc have a very bad qualifying. Tsunoda not as bad. A very strange 10 place grid penalty for him for driving past Oscar Piastri's stricken car or slow car, which I think it's iffy. And then the races, Tsunoda didn't have the best race pace. It wasn't that bad. Starting from last though. What did you expect? It's not going to be the best. And Leclerc actually had a very good race, not as good as his qualifying, which he did make lots of mistakes and started like 8th behind Norris, who also made a mistake. His pace was much better than Hamilton's. The strategy, I think the one he wanted to go with would probably be the best. He probably would have finished 4th or 3rd. Ooh, I don't know. But he and Ferrari wasn't on the pace. He didn't do too bad, but it was not as bad. Okay. 10th place is going to be Oliver Bearman. Qualifying, he out-qualified Ocon. His race, he made a lot of mistakes, which I am not sure how to feel. Because Bearman was supposed to be like one of those rookies that should be in the top 10, and he's only 11th in the standings, which is not bad for a rookie. So yeah, not too bad, scoring 1 point. 9th place is going to be Oscar Piastri, our championship leader. His qualifying was good. The race pace though, Norris was the quicker driver, and I think that is a message of intent from Norris. If he did make it over, if he did pass Piastri, he would have been a lot further down, and I think Norris would be one of my top 3 contenders for the race. But Piastri didn't have the pace today. I'm not sure why. He couldn't overtake Antonelli, a rookie. I don't know. And Antonelli did very good, so I can't tell you what happened there, but Piastri is not on my list. 8th place in scoring 4 points is going to be Franco Colapinto. Now, this was a decent weekend. He's lost from his 5-race contract. If he doesn't come back, I'm not sure who's going to replace him. Maybe Big Schumacher or Victor Martins. I do hope it's Schumacher, but I would like to see Colapinto stay. He's had a horrible time with the Alpine, not like he had with the Williams, which is understandable. 2 different cars, and I think the Alpine is a different car to drive. So Colapinto, he did a good qualifying. He did do good in qualifying, outqualifying his teammate by quite a substantial margin. And in the race, he didn't do too bad for a rookie, which hasn't even been full-time yet. So Colapinto didn't do too bad. That's why he's 8th. Not as bad as the drivers below him, but not close to the good as the drivers ahead of him. 7th place would be Esteban Ocon. On the 200th race, he scored some good points for them. Did a very good strategy. I think he was the best from the hards to the mediums, the one-stops. And he did a good job. I think he started like 14th or 15th, got 9th after the Norris crash. So he did a very good job. I'm happy to see he's performing as well as I hoped at Haas. And he scored some very good points. 6 is very good for his championship here. 6th place is Carlos Sainz. Finally, good to see some good results from him. Qualifying, I think he would have probably made it into the top 12-ish because he was impeded, like you saw. And I think without that, he would have scored some good points. He did score 1 point, but his race pace was very, very good, much better than Albon's and much better than most of the people there. That is why he is 6th. I think it's hard to. It will probably been higher if he did finish his qualifying without the impediment. It's hard to judge where your driver would be in the rating. So 6 for Sainz, did a very good job, and hopefully could catch up to some of the other drivers because he has had not a very good season, a lousy season so far. 5th place, scoring 10 points, is Verstappen. Now, Verstappen did finish 2nd, he did qualify 2nd, so why is he 5th? The drivers ahead of him just had so much more better results in qualifying or in the race. Verstappen was my top 3 in qualifying, but he was my 6th or 7th driver in the race. Antonelli was, I think, quicker than him twice. If the Red Bull strategy wasn't as good, he would have been behind Antonelli. And that is true, in my opinion, and yes. Verstappen didn't do too bad to stay away from Antonelli, and he was catching Russell at the end, but then Russell just dissed. So, what can you say? 10th place for the championship leader at this point. Continuing his very good and consistent performance. P4 is going to be Nico Hulkenberg, another good scorer since the previous race. Qualifying wasn't too good though. It was just the front of his teammate in Q1, but the race was very good. He did so good in the opening laps. That's where he got to pass some of the drivers and then into the points. And yeah, very good overtake when Colapinto and Albon made some contact, or did not make contact, and that just helped him in the long run. And he did a very good job. He scored another point in that Sauber. Hopefully Bortoleto can follow in his footsteps not long from now, because that would be very cool to see. And he scored some 12 nice points for his championship run in the rating system. Okay, let's go to our podium sitters. Our 3rd place, our bronze, goes to our real 3rd place sitter, Antonelli, who had a very good race. I think this has been his most impressive race. He is my race, the winner of the race in my opinion, for the ratings. His qualifying wasn't too good though. If his qualifying was just as good as Russell's, then I think he would have been first. But Russell was just more consistent of the 2 Mercedes drivers, but he was definitely better in the race, Antonelli. and I'm very glad to see him going, scoring 15 points, trying to catch Hadjar in the standings. So hopefully he'll be the best rookie of the season, but let's see. He has a lot of pressure in that seat, and finally getting his first podium will help him with his charge up the field, because I think he has a very good chance of scoring some more points and catch Hamilton in the actual standings, which would be very cool to see. Okay, our runner-up is going to be Fernando Alonso. An excellent weekend from this old dude. He's not really that old, but he just seems to have the energy of Antonelli, but the experience that he has mixed with that is so dangerous. In the car he has, Stroll couldn't do anything with it, but he was like fighting. He was starting fifth. I think he finished seventh or even sixth. I can't remember, but he did excellent. He is so good at this point. But at the beginning of the season, it was not good. Since I think Imola, he has really jumped up on my ratings standings. I think he was 20th at one point. He didn't score that good, but he's 8th at this point. Let's see how he does after this race in the standings there. He could probably run for the top 5, in the standings, so we'll see. And our first place, of course, is going to be Russell, like in real life. Russell did a very good job. I think he has been consistent in the qualifying and the race. His qualifying pace was very good. I think Alonso is still my qualifier, my best qualifier, and Russell is second in both, so that's why he is first, because he's just that consistent. So I'm very happy for Russell. He scores a massive 25 points. Hopefully he can close the gap against Verstappen. But let's see. At the moment he's he's fifth. So let's see how he does after this race. So what do you guys think? Let's go and check the new standings for my ratings. Okay, here it is. Verstappen is still first, 149 points. Russell moves to second, which is very good. Piastri, Leclerc, and Albon drop 1. So the gap between first and second is 47 points, which is very good. I think it's better than it was. Alonso jumps 2. He goes ahead of Norris now and Hadjar. So that's very good. And he's not that far away from Albon. If he wants to, he can really get the top 5. Antonelli with his points, with his podium, is now just 1 point behind Gasly. And Hulkenberg overtakes Ocon, but only with 1 point. Very close between those two. And the rest didn't move, but Sainz got some good points. So yeah, that is the standings. Let's go to the constructors. And this is the first time I've done it, because I think it would be a fun addition. But first place is McLaren with 160 points, which would be the best driver lineup. I did say they were the best driver lineup going into the season, with Ferrari second, but Ferrari is fourth at the moment with 108. Mercedes isn't far behind McLaren, but Red Bull only have the same points as Verstappen, because Tsunoda and Lawson got those 2 points they did when they were driving for Toro Rosso Racing Bulls. Sorry. Williams is a fifth with 99, and Aston Martin is just 1 point behind them. And just remember, one of those teams have Lance Stroll. But Lance Stroll hasn't been that bad this year so far, scoring 19 points. So yeah. RB 7th, Haas 8th, 9th to Alpine, and 10th is Stake. I think that's more just because it's hard to see where they are at some races. And Bortoleto is last on the point scoring list, ahead of Doohan, who didn't score a point. So what do you think of this new idea where we are going to rank, and then the top 10 is going to score points, and we'll see who is the best driver through this method, not averages, which we will also do when we get through the halfway and the end, and see which is a better method in seeing which is the best. It's very confusing, I know. But if you do like it, drop a like, subscribe. I am trying to be back to this channel to make more videos. I do want to do a calendar, because they did reveal the calendar. I want to do my own calendar in which I would like to see on the grid or not. So let me know if you would like to see that. And yeah, I'll be doing this for each and every race. Try to get back, like I said. So let me know what you think. Who do you think is going to win the championship at this point? My ratings championship. Yeah, we'll see. Thank you for watching. Cheers. Have a good day.